regular meeting Monday, January 13th, 2020, 6 p.m. Paintsville Recreation Center. Clerk, call the roll.
January 13th.
David.
Here.
Sarah Blair. Present. Bo.
Present.
Tim.
Present.
Sarah Kimball. Present. Rick.
Here.
And you know what we left off the agenda? The pledge.
We didn't do it last time. We didn't do the
Let's do
pledge
it
last time.
Well, we're doing it this time.
You want to do it twice?
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
January 13th.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was coming for you next. Yeah, okay, I'll just leave.
I've only got one announcement to make, and Miss Sally Ann called me the other day and wanted to remind you city council members that they've changed the filing date of the last day you can file. And the way it looks on this paper right here, it looks like June the 2nd at 4 p.m. It used to be August, is that right?
Yes.
So they have changed that date, and the last day is June the 2nd, 2020 at 4 p.m.
Can you file anytime from now till then?
It's got
Is it
that on
open?
here.
Okay.
Earliest date to file looks like November 6, 2019. That doesn't make sense to me.
Probably after the election, you start filing for the next.
But I know this is the last date they can file.
Don't give much time to think about that.
It'll fly by, won't it?
Now, I'm going to personally encourage every one of you to file, so you can do that for me if you don't care. That's the only announcements I had. What I need to do right now, though, Chief Rowe wanted to take just a few minutes during my announcement period and go over some things with council. Chief?
Basically, I just want to tell you what our yearly activity was and brag on my police department. We worked 275 thefts, and 90% of that's Walmart thefts. 593 traffic stops, 285 arrests for controlled substance, 41 for alcohol, and the controlled substance, 90% of that's methamphetamine. 257 car wrecks without injury, 22 car wrecks with injuries. We served 257 warrants, answered 5,847 calls for the year.
Thank you.
Good job, Keith.
Well, I'll tell you, I like to commend them. Ever since I've been sitting watching time go by, I see how much they're out there driving around day and night, more than I ever dreamed. And I appreciate it. And I know the citizens of this city does.
Well, we all appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
With that, I'll have approval of minutes from regular meeting 12/9/19.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? Approval of department reports.
Motion to approve the departmental reports this time.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval to pay bills as presented.
I make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now to get down to business. Mr. Jim Bryant is here to present City Council with the audit that he just finished.
All right, I have the audit here. I know I sent an email with a copy of the audit to Kim the other day. I think a bunch of you didn't get it, or it was too large to come through your email or something. So, if this might be the first time you've seen it. So, I was hoping you had a chance to look at it and so forth before I come today. But anyway, this is the audit for June 30, 2019, and they're pretty straightforward. There's no surprises in there, so everything looks good. But I'll kind of go over it. I know in the past I never really, I state that the opinion is that the financial statements are presented fairly on the actual audit report that I have in here. So I'm just going to kind of briefly tell you exactly, kind of go over the first page of the audit report and tell you exactly what it entails. So the first thing on the audit report, you have a report on the financial statements. It just says, we have audited the accompanying financial statements of the governmental activities, the business type activities, each major fund in the aggregate remaining fund information of the city of Paintsville, Kentucky, as of June 30, 2019, and the notes to the financial statements. The next topic is the management's responsibility for the financial statements. Its management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. This includes the design, implementation, and maintenance of internal control relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement. What's my responsibility? My responsibility is to express an opinion on these financial statements based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with the auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America, and these standards are applicable to financial audits contained in government auditing standards issued by the Comptroller General of the United States. Those standards require that we plan to perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance about whether these financial statements are free from material misstatements. Then you see an audit involves performing procedures to obtain evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. And the procedures selected depend on my judgment, including the assessment of the risks of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. So that's my job. And then the next line down there, I says, we believe that the audit evidence that we have obtained during the audit is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. And this is usually where I get to typically when I tell you, this is my opinion. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the city of Paintsville as of June 30, 2019. So that's my opinion on the financial statements for the city of Paintsville, that they are presented fairly. So, and then the next page, this is just some other matters, talks about that in the audit report there's a budgetary comparison schedule in the back for you to review, kind of see how your expenses and revenues were against what you budgeted, and so forth like that. Now into the financials itself. Look on page 3. Now I'm just going to go over on the governmental activities column. The business type activities, that's all Paintsville Utilities, and I presented that at their meeting a couple months ago. But anyway, at June 30, 2019, the city of Paintsville had total, and now this is governmental activities. This is the general fund, all your funds, tourism, special revenue funds such as road aid, coal, mineral, and your 911 fund. This is in total for all of that. You had total assets of $11,721,718, and you had deferred outflows on pensions and other post-employment benefits of $1,957,427. Liabilities, you had total liabilities of $10,213,019. Now, of that $10 million, $8,426,151 of that is your pension liabilities that come through the state through CERS. That's your pension liabilities and your other post-employment benefit liabilities. Just your liabilities for long-term debts, in total, you'll see due in 1 year and due in more than 1 year. That combined, that's your total liabilities from your bonds and all your loans, $1,462,304. And you can see your other real liabilities up there. Accounts payable, $144,000, accrued payroll taxes, accrued vacation, and then some other miscellaneous accrued liabilities. Deferred inflows from pensions and OPEBs, $576,520. Your total net position at June 30, 2019, $2,889,606. And if you look up one line above, you'll see that you do have a deficit of $5 million, but that is totally due to the pension. The pension, and this is the case all across the state of Kentucky. When you add it on, when they started making the cities add on their total pension costs and liabilities and so forth, that caused almost every city in the state to have a deficit, government-wide. I was going to show you, also, you had, of your total assets, you had $8.9 million in fixed assets, and you had $2,180,209 in cash in the bank. If you look over on page 5, this is the fund financial statements. This breaks it down. You can see your general fund, Paintsville Tourism, then your other governmental funds. You can see that $2,188,209. Of that, $1,643,031 is in the general fund as of June 30th. So, tourism, you can see tourism column there. I'll be presenting their portion to their meeting here probably in a couple of weeks or so. So this here, the fund financial balance sheet, this doesn't include any long-term debts or your fixed assets. So you can see just the fund, for the general fund, you had total assets of $2,247,425. That is, like I said, $1.6 million in cash. 911 owes $244,000. I'm going to talk about 911 here in just a moment. But that's actually money that 911 does have in the bank at June 30th. It's part of that $430,000 you see over in the other governmental funds. So the total fund balance of the general fund at June 30th was $1,967,845. If you look on page 7, this was the revenues and expenditures for the general fund, June 30, 2019. You had total revenues of $6,205,594. You had total expenditures of $6,210,569. So you had an excess of expenditures over revenues of $4,975. Then you can see down on the bottom there, you had transfers in, $277,770. That's all the transfers in from Paintsville Tourism. You had operating transfers out, $118,839. That was to 911 from the general fund for their share of covering the excess costs of the 911 fund. And then here's what I was going to discuss with you, the intergovernmental forgiveness of debt last year. I've talked for the last 10 years about 911 not being able to have sufficient revenues to operate. And last year there was a 911 owed general fund $532,643, and was discussed with the mayor that that was going to be forgiven by the general fund for 911 not to pay that. So anyway, now you have your forgiveness of debt there. So that reduced the fund balance of the general fund by that amount. If you look over on the other governmental funds column, you can see that increased their fund balance, because now 911 doesn't have to pay that. So you had some proceeds from sale of capital assets, proceeds from insurance, and then you borrowed some money for some ambulances and some other fixed assets. So you had a total change in fund balance of a minus $73,686. But again, remember, you just forgave $500,000 to 911. So if it wasn't for the forgiveness of debt, the general fund's fund balance would actually increase by about $400,000. So the fund balance at June 30, 2018 was $2,041,531. This year, it ended June 30, 2019, was $1,967,845. So even forgiving the debt from 911, you had a positive fund balance to be able to absorb that. The general fund was able to absorb that. And if, like I said, real quick, tourism, they had total revenues $870,415, total expenditures of $576,478. They had an excess of revenues over expenditures of $293,937. Like I said, they transferred $277,000 to the general fund as an operating transfer. So everything's fine on tourism. And like I said, I was kind of going to show you on page 57. This is the breakdown of those other governmental funds, whole mineral, road aid, and 911. And I'm just focusing on 911 here. You had total revenues of $443,345, total expenditures of $562,184. So there's an excess of expenditures on 911 of $118,839, which general fund covered that. You actually budgeted, you had in the budget for general fund to cover those excess expenses on 911. So now you can see last year you had a $522,000 deficit. This year 911 is now showing, after you forgave the debt, of $9,971. So we were able, or you were able to eliminate that deficit on 911. And as long as general fund's going to continue covering the expenses on 911, the overages, you shouldn't be in the deficit from here on out. And I know I talked with the mayor, and I think he's going to be working with maybe the fiscal court and so forth, and looking at trying, seeing what you can do about increasing the revenues on 911 side. So, but, you know, I think overall the city's in good financial, compared where we were, or not we, you, compared where you were 4, 5, 6 years ago, the city has made great strides. I mean, you've got your bills are paid on time, your accounts payable are exactly where they need to be. It's just what you owe for the current accounts payable, instead of having $400,000 or $500,000 in accounts payable behind on your power bills and stuff like that. So you guys have made great strides, and you're in much, much, much better financial position than you were previously. So that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Appreciate it.
So, yeah,
Thank you, Jim.
you're welcome.
We appreciate it. Chief Ratliff, is Chief Ratliff here?
He's back here.
Do we need to approve that audit?
I think you just have to prove that I presented it.
Okay, I'll take a motion that Mr. Bryant presented the city audit.
Second.
Appreciate it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chief, you want to have approval to surplus some ambulances?
Yeah, there's some ambulances, I think, one of the 2001 model, they all three range in between 2000 and 2003. They're ambulances that's been out of service for a long time, and we have taken pretty well everything we could off of them. So one of them don't have an engine, don't have a transmission. One of them doesn't have an engine that runs, but I think it does have a transmission in it. And the other one, we took parts out of the engine. They'd have to be hauled away. They're just scrap, yeah. And that's
Okay, so
What do we just make a motion then to do that?
I just need approval for Chief to be able to surplus ambulances
Make a motion with the chief surplus in,
and get the best price we can.
and get the best price we can out of it.
All in favor? Opposed? Now, the thing that's not on the agenda we got to do is we have to have a resolution approving, you remember I went over the changing the streets and the names and everything? Well, I got that back today, so I just need for you all to vote on a resolution that I can send in to, you need to read that. It's just a resolution saying that we approve the streets that's in Appendix A. And that's the ones we went over the last time I gave to you, where we had to change like a drive to a lane, or a street to a drive, and then add a couple of streets. So that's all this is. So I just need approval to sign this resolution, send it in.
I so move that you make that resolution to send in.
All in favor? Opposed?
I didn't know until we did that with Jim and Fran, and Ronnie mentioned it, and I looked it up, and there are reasons that you call those different things. And that's why I made the suggestions I did about a lane, and a way, and a drive, and a street, and an avenue, and a boulevard. And they all have distinct things that note them to be so called that. So, I didn't know that, and I'm old.
Yeah, we all are. With that said, there's no more business. I'll open it up to council.
I would like to ask about the Cardinal Lane project.
Mr. Eric Ratliff is here, and Mrs. Sarah Blair wants to know about the Carter Lane project. Could you give us an update, please?
The mayor and myself and a few others met with people from the Kentucky Emergency Management, Jenny Jo Brower and Karen Howard. FEMA did approve their 75% portion of that project. Total project cost is estimated at $2.6 million. Of that amount, 75% comes from the federal government, 12% comes from the state, 13% comes from the local government. And I knew this would probably come up knowing Sarah, so I put together a little handout to give to you to show you the breakdown per phases. And I'll just give to you, you would have to take a look at. So the second phase will probably hopefully put out for bid in the spring, just because of the weather's probably unpredictable in the spring anyhow, but it's really unpredictable right now. So the last phase will be to demolish the houses that are remaining, haul off the debris and reclaim the site, put trees back, sow grass, things like that. And then obviously, as you all know, you've been around this project a little longer than I have, that it just have to remain green space. You won't be able to build anything on it. Maybe a picnic shelter, but that would be about it. Nothing with 4 walls enclosed. That'd be about the maximum of what you can do with it. But that's where we're at.
Any questions?
I remember we mentioned a few months ago, mentioned the meeting date and time. What happens with that? Or
Well,
is it like
According
not gonna happen?
to Mr. Baldwin here, we have to actually change the ordinance to change the meeting times. And I really didn't know if you all wanted to go through that whole process or not. It'll
Well, I
have
didn't
to
know, I
have,
just remember we
have 2
discussed
readings.
It's just to me that it's the reason we have it, it's open to the public, and 6 o'clock seems like a better time, I think.
Well, I'm good with this.
I mean, I really truly am. I mean, I'm glad we changed it from 7 to 6 actually. And, but it does give the public time that if they want to get home from work or do pick their kids up or what they have to do, that maybe that they can.
I was just thinking it might give us an opportunity to go to the other meetings where we're, allowing schools to use properties and money and, like being able to attend those meetings and stuff, because they all happen on the same day around the same time.
Yeah, well, what Miss Sarah's concern is that you've got 2 other meetings on the same day
Oh, yeah.
that we have ours. You've got, I don't know what time school board starts, and fiscal court starts at 4:45 or 4:30.
45 now.
Yeah.
And to be able to go to
That's tough.
that's really tough to cram all of that in there at one time, but I feel like if we're, a part of those things, then I feel like maybe we should be going to these meetings and having a voice in them.
I mean, I
That's
don't
just my-
understand why
that's
they're
my
all
personal
on the same time. We used to be, on Tuesday at 7, which was a little late really
It is
for
late for
a
me.
meeting, yeah.
I don't like 7.
Well, I don't,
Interferes with
you know,
I stay away
I
from
mean-
board meetings right now. It'd be the last place I want to go out there.
I'm over early.
I know,
I
I
bet
just,
it wasn't.
Yeah. I saw Mr. Fulton coming.
But that's that's a good argument, Sarah, and I'll agree to do what anybody, if everybody wants
They
it
ask
changed.
us like, hey, we want this bit of property to extend our bleachers or something here. If people are wanting things from the city of Paintsville, then I feel like we should be going to their meetings to see how things are being managed on those.
I wish they'd come to ours.
That'd be wonderful.
Well, I'll just leave it up to council to get together individually and discuss it, and then
I like the
You can-
time. I don't care about the day.
come
It
to
doesn't
me
matter
with
to me
a
about the day.
plan or
Day
whatever.
doesn't matter. I like 6.
Okay, anything else from council? Anything from the floor? Nothing from the floor?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, Jerry.